Every human being carries weight, and not all of it is visible. Some burdens are physical, yes, but many are emotional and deeply internal, often hidden from the eyes of others. Life has a way of demanding more from us than we sometimes realize, and the world around us glorifies strength as though it were an endless resource. Society teaches us that being strong is a badge of honor, a sign of success, a mark of resilience. But the truth is, strength is not limitless. It is not an eternal river that flows without end. Strength is a gift, a skill, and a practice, and like any resource, it can become depleted if not replenished. There are moments when even the strongest among us feel heavy, fatigued, and utterly exhausted. Feeling tired of being strong does not make you weak, it makes you human. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward genuine empowerment, because strength is not about pretending, hiding, or pushing endlessly. It is about knowing yourself, respecting your limits, and nurturing your spirit, so that you can continue to stand tall with clarity and purpose. Being strong all the time is exhausting because life is complex, unpredictable, and often unfair. Every day you juggle responsibilities, face challenges, and navigate relationships, sometimes under pressure that is invisible yet profoundly heavy. You are expected to carry not only your own burdens, but sometimes the emotional weight of others as well, all while maintaining composure, optimism, and the appearance of invulnerability. And though the world applauds resilience, it rarely acknowledges the toll it takes on the human soul. But you do not have to live under the illusion that you must carry every weight alone, silently or indefinitely. You are allowed to acknowledge your fatigue, to admit that life is sometimes too much, and to recognize that even the strongest among us have limits. This is not surrender, it is empowerment. Accepting your exhaustion allows you to reclaim a sense of control over your life, your mind, and your energy. Pause for a moment and consider this. How often have you ignored the subtle signs of your body and mind signaling that you are reaching your limits? How often have you told yourself, "I must be strong," even when every fiber of your being pleaded for rest? Strength is often misunderstood as endurance without pause, but real strength is the courage to recognize your needs and act upon them. When you give yourself permission to rest, you are not giving up. You are conserving energy, replenishing your soul, and preparing to move forward with greater clarity and power. Real strength lies in balance, not in constant motion. It lies in self-awareness, not in endless performance. Strength is not the absence of weakness. It is the ability to navigate weakness with honesty, compassion, and purpose. When you are tired of being strong, you must take the time to sit quietly with yourself. Observe your exhaustion not with judgment but with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself, what burdens have I been carrying unnecessarily? Which expectations belong to me and which have been imposed by the world around me? By examining these questions deeply, you create space to release what no longer serves you. Strength is not measured by how much you endure, but by how wisely you manage your energy. To honor your limits is to honor your life. It is to acknowledge that you are not a machine designed for endless performance, but a human being with a sacred mind, body, and spirit that deserve care, attention, and replenishment. The truth is, no one can pour from an empty cup. No one can radiate light when their spirit is dimmed by exhaustion. Society may expect you to be unwavering, but the universe knows the truth. You are allowed to pause, to rest, to recharge, and to heal. When you allow yourself to rest, you are not failing. You are practicing the highest form of resilience. Every moment you dedicate to self-care, reflection, and restoration is a step toward authentic, enduring strength. Real strength is not about masking your fatigue or hiding your emotions. It is about embracing them, learning from them, and transforming them into fuel for growth. Recognize that being tired is not shameful. It is a signal that you are alive, fully engaged, and deeply invested in your journey. It is a reminder to slow down, to reconnect with your essence, and to honor the sacredness of your energy. In this pause, you will discover clarity, peace, and renewed power. You will learn that strength is not a measure of constant endurance, but a reflection of your wisdom, your compassion for yourself, and your ability to navigate life authentically. So when you feel exhausted from being strong, do not resist it, do not fight it, and do not feel guilty for it. Instead, welcome it as a guide, a teacher, and a companion that shows you the way to deeper resilience, true balance, and lasting inner strength. Being strong is not about never falling. It is about knowing when to rise, how to rest, and when to release. It is about recognizing that life will sometimes be too heavy, and that in those moments, the greatest act of courage is to simply pause, breathe, and honor your humanity. In doing so, you reclaim not only your energy, but also your purpose, your clarity, and your ability to face the world with a strength that is real, profound, and enduring. There is a kind of courage that few people recognize, the courage to feel exhausted, to feel worn down, and to admit that being strong all the time has taken its toll. In a world that constantly glorifies resilience, perseverance, and pushing through, the act of admitting fatigue can feel terrifying. We have been taught that strength is measured by endurance, by our ability to keep going regardless of how we feel inside. But real courage is not found in endless performance. Real courage is found in the honesty to say, I am tired, and to allow ourselves to truly experience what that means. When you are tired of being strong, acknowledging it is not surrender, it is bravery. It is bravery because admitting exhaustion means facing the very truths that most of us try to hide. It means looking inward and seeing the weight we carry, the sacrifices we have made, and the energy we have given away, sometimes without even realizing it. Feeling tired of being strong is natural. It is a reflection of the fact that you have been giving, protecting, loving, and striving with all your heart. It is proof that you have been living fully and intensely, and it is proof that you care deeply about the life you are creating, the people around you, and the impact you make. But caring and giving do not mean that you are limitless. Caring and giving do not mean that you are required to bear every burden alone. There is a quiet wisdom in acknowledging the boundaries of your strengths, in recognizing that you are human, and in permitting yourself to rest. Exhaustion is not a flaw, it is a signal. It is the body, mind, and soul speaking, reminding you that even the strongest need pauses, that even warriors need rest, and that even heroes require moments of stillness. Courage in exhaustion means giving yourself permission to be human. It means allowing your emotions to surface without judgment or suppression. It means crying when you need to cry, speaking your truth when it has been silent too long, and stepping back when the weight of life becomes too heavy. Society may teach us that these moments are weakness, that vulnerability is failure, but the truth is entirely different. Vulnerability is strength in its purest form. It is the courage to be real, to be honest, and to honor your inner needs. There is profound bravery in sitting with your tiredness, listening to it, and learning from it. There is power in recognizing that your fatigue is not a burden to be hidden, but a guide to deeper self-understanding and renewal. When you acknowledge exhaustion, you create space for clarity. You see clearly what has been draining you, what has been unnecessary, and what truly matters. You begin to understand the difference between obligations that nurture your growth and those that deplete your energy. You start to see which battles are truly yours to fight and which ones you have been carrying for no reason at all. This is the gift of courage. It allows you to reclaim your life from exhaustion and step into it with intention and awareness. The strongest people are not those who never tire. The strongest people are those who know when to pause, when to rest, and when to redirect their energy toward what truly nourishes them. Courage is also found in the willingness to let go of perfection. Exhaustion often comes from the constant pressure to appear unshakable, to maintain control, and to meet every expectation. The endless striving to be flawless, to appear strong, and to carry everything can become suffocating. And when we finally admit our fatigue, it is an act of liberation. We release the invisible chains of unrealistic expectations. We free ourselves from the exhausting burden of always needing to prove our strengths. And in that freedom, we discover something incredible, strength that is real, grounded, and sustainable. When you are tired of being strong, it is also a call to reconnect with yourself. In the hustle of life, in the endless cycle of obligations, and in the demands of the world, we often forget the simplest yet most profound truths. Our inner self needs attention, care, and love. Reconnecting with yourself means slowing down. It means listening to the quiet voice within that has been drowned out by noise. It means rediscovering the small things that bring joy, peace, and energy back into your life. Perhaps it is a walk in nature, a quiet meditation, journaling your thoughts, or simply sitting in stillness and breathing. These moments are not trivial, they are essential. They are the tools through which your inner strength is replenished, through which your courage is restored, and through which your soul remembers how to rise again. Admitting exhaustion also requires humility, because it asks you to let go of the idea that you must carry everything alone. Asking for help, reaching out to someone you trust, or simply sharing your burdens does not make you weak, it makes you human. There is a quiet bravery in vulnerability, in seeking support, and in acknowledging that your strength is not dependent on isolation, but on connection. True strength is not solitary, it is relational. It flourishes when nurtured by compassion, empathy, and understanding from both self and others. Courage in exhaustion is ultimately about transformation. It transforms fatigue from a source of shame or frustration into a teacher, a guide, and a reminder. It transforms moments of weakness into opportunities for growth. It transforms silence into clarity and rest into renewed power. Every time you pause, every time you honor your exhaustion, you cultivate a form of strength that is deeper, more authentic, and more enduring than the kind of strength that is measured solely by endurance. When you rise again after rest, you rise with wisdom, resilience, and a presence that commands respect, not because you never tire, but because you have learned how to rise despite the weariness. So when you are tired of being strong, remember this: your exhaustion is a form of courage, your pause is an act of bravery, and your vulnerability is the most authentic expression of power you can possess. Allow yourself to feel, to rest, and to reconnect with your essence. By doing so, you do not just survive, you thrive. You do not just endure, you grow. And you do not just appear strong, you become unshakable in the quiet, profound way that only those who have truly faced their own limits can understand. Strength is often misunderstood. Society tells us that being strong means being invulnerable, never showing weakness, and constantly pushing forward regardless of how we feel. Power is frequently confused with control, as though true strength lies in dominating circumstances, managing others, or suppressing our own emotions. But the reality is far more profound. True strength is not about maintaining an illusion of perfection or relentless endurance. Real strength lies in understanding ourselves, embracing our vulnerability, and being honest about our limitations. It is not about proving something to the world. It is about connecting with the inner reservoir of courage, wisdom, and resilience that resides within each of us. When you are tired of being strong, it is not a signal of failure. It is an opportunity to redefine what strength truly means. Many people wear strength like a mask, convincing themselves that being strong means never showing emotion, never needing help, and never pausing. They confuse the ability to endure with the ability to thrive. They confuse toughness with wisdom, but these are not the markers of real strength. Real strength is nuanced. It is patient. It is compassionate, not only to others but also to oneself. It is the capacity to face your fears, your pain, and your fatigue with honesty, and to make choices that honor both your needs and your values. Strength is not about proving how much you can carry. It is about knowing how to navigate life with clarity, balance, and integrity. When you are tired of being strong, it is essential to recognize that your energy is sacred. Every ounce of attention, effort, and care you give is valuable, and you must protect it. Being strong does not mean sacrificing your peace, joy, or mental health for appearances or obligations that no longer serve you. There is a form of power in setting boundaries, in saying no when something drains you, and in prioritizing your own restoration. Many people resist this truth because they fear being perceived as weak or selfish. But the reality is that protecting your energy is the foundation of authentic strength. Without it, endurance becomes strain, perseverance becomes pressure, and courage becomes exhaustion. Redefining strength also requires that you confront your beliefs about control. We are often taught that to be strong, we must control every situation, manage every outcome, and suppress the uncertainties of life. Yet this relentless striving can be exhausting and unsustainable. True strength lies not in controlling everything, but in navigating the flow of life with flexibility and grace. It is the courage to release the illusion of total control and embrace the unpredictability of existence with trust in your inner resilience. This does not mean passivity, it means engagement from a place of clarity, calmness, and aligned intention. Vulnerability is an essential component of strength. Being vulnerable does not imply weakness, it implies awareness and authenticity. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you accept the truth of your human experience. You acknowledge your fears, your doubts, and your limitations without judgment. You open yourself to growth, connection, and healing. Vulnerability allows you to face life fully, without pretending or hiding behind facades. It creates the space in which true strength can flourish, because strength that is rooted in authenticity is unshakable. It does not crumble under pressure, it adapts, evolves, and sustains itself over time. When fatigue sets in, redefining strength is also about prioritizing restoration. Tiredness is not a defect, it is a signal, it is a reminder from your mind and body that you have been pushing too hard, giving too much, or neglecting your inner needs. Ignoring these signs leads to burnout, resentment, and even despair. But when you honor them, you create the opportunity to replenish yourself, regain clarity, and reclaim your vitality. Resting is not a concession, it is a strategy. It is the way you prepare to rise stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing life's challenges. Every moment you dedicate to self-care, reflection, or stillness is an investment in your enduring power. Redefining strength also involves understanding the interplay between action and stillness. Life is often seen as a race, a constant motion toward goals, responsibilities, and outcomes. But true strength is measured not by constant action alone, but by the ability to balance action with reflection, effort with pause, and resilience with rest. It is about knowing when to move, when to speak, and when to remain silent. It is about acting from a place of inner alignment rather than reactionary pressure. This balance allows strength to be sustainable, purposeful, and deeply grounded. Finally, real strength is relational as well as personal. It is not measured solely by what you can achieve independently, but also by your capacity to connect, empathize, and inspire. Being strong does not require isolation. It requires discernment. It requires understanding which energies to absorb, which influences to allow, and which relationships to protect or release. When you exercise discernment and protect your energy, you amplify your strength rather than diminish it. You create a life in which your power is consistent, deliberate, and aligned with your deepest values. When you are tired of being strong, remember that this exhaustion is not failure, it is an invitation to redefine what it means to be powerful, to reconnect with your inner wisdom, and to honor yourself in a way that is sustainable and authentic. You do not need to be unbreakable to be strong. You need only to be aware, compassionate, and aligned with your own truths. In this awareness, you will find strength that is unshakable, not because it never tires, but because it rises continually from the deep well of self-knowledge, integrity, and inner peace. True power, true strength, emerges when you embrace both your capacity to endure and your courage to pause, reflect, and grow. One of the most profound lessons that life teaches us, especially when we are tired of being strong, is the power of letting go. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is one of the deepest expressions of inner strength. It requires courage, clarity, and self-respect. So often we hold on to situations, people, expectations, and obligations that drain us because we fear loss, fear judgment, or fear the unknown. We convince ourselves that holding on is a demonstration of resilience, but in reality it often diminishes our strength, clouds our judgment, and keeps us chained to unnecessary stress and struggle. Letting go is the conscious choice to release what no longer serves your growth, your peace, or your well-being. It is a deliberate act of self-preservation and self-love, an acknowledgement that your energy is precious and that it deserves to be directed toward nourishment rather than depletion. Many of us confuse letting go with giving up. We think that if we release someone or something, we are failing, losing control, or admitting defeat. But the truth is that holding on can often be a greater form of weakness. It can trap us in cycles of anxiety, resentment, and exhaustion. Letting go, by contrast, is an act of power. It is a conscious decision to reclaim control over your energy, to protect your peace, and to honor the value of your own life. It is a recognition that your inner well-being is far more important than any temporary attachment to something that drains or limits you. When you let go, you make room for growth, healing, and renewal. You create space for clarity, for joy, and for experiences that truly align with your purpose and your soul's deepest needs. Letting go is also about releasing the need for external validation. When we cling to expectations imposed by others, we deplete our energy trying to meet standards that are not our own. We exhaust ourselves in the pursuit of approval, recognition, or acceptance. But strength is not measured by the opinions of others. It is measured by the courage to honor your own truth, your own boundaries, and your own rhythm. Letting go of the need for approval allows you to act with authenticity, without fear of judgment, and without the pressure to appear unshakable at all times. This liberation is a profound form of strength that renews your energy and restores your focus. It is essential to understand that letting go is a process, not an event. It is not something that happens overnight, and it is rarely easy. Our minds are wired to resist change, to cling to familiarity, and to fear the unknown. But in the moments of resistance, when you feel fear, discomfort, or doubt, you are learning the depths of your courage. Each step toward release, each act of surrender, is an exercise in resilience. Every moment you allow yourself to let go, you build inner fortitude that no challenge can diminish. The more you practice this, the more you discover that strength is not found in accumulation or attachment, but in the ability to flow with life, to adapt, and to honor the impermanence of all things. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you reclaim your energy. You release the tension that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. You stop carrying the emotional weight of resentment, regret, or obligation. Instead, you redirect your focus toward what matters most: your growth, your peace, your purpose. This act of letting go transforms your exhaustion into vitality, it transforms your fatigue into clarity, and it transforms your moments of struggle into opportunities for profound self-discovery. Letting go also extends to the people in our lives. Sometimes we hold on to relationships that are toxic, draining, or misaligned with our values. We cling because we fear loneliness or loss, but these attachments often deplete our strength more than any external challenge could. Choosing to release such relationships is not cruel, it is compassionate, both for ourselves and for those involved. It allows us to interact from a place of clarity and authenticity, rather than obligation or fear. True strength is reflected in the wisdom to discern which relationships to nurture and which to release. Another critical aspect of letting go is forgiveness. Forgiving others, and often forgiving ourselves, is one of the most profound acts of release. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret chains us to the past and keeps us from moving forward. Forgiveness does not mean condoning what happened or forgetting the lessons learned. It means freeing your heart from the burden of negativity. When you forgive, you let go of the emotional weight that saps your energy and weakens your spirit. You create space for peace, compassion, and growth, and you reclaim a portion of your strength that was previously consumed by lingering pain. Ultimately, letting go is a practice of alignment. It is the conscious effort to direct your energy toward what nourishes your soul, what fuels your growth, and what aligns with your purpose. It is a rejection of unnecessary struggle, of exhaustion caused by misaligned priorities, and of the relentless pursuit of control over things that are beyond your influence. When you master the art of letting go, you discover a form of strength that is unshakable. It is a strength rooted in awareness, intentionality, and inner peace. You no longer expend energy trying to force life into a shape that does not serve you. Instead, you move with life, flowing gracefully through challenges and rising resiliently from moments of fatigue and struggle. When you are tired of being strong, letting go is your gateway to restoration. It teaches you that strength is not about holding on indefinitely, but about releasing wisely, prioritizing your energy, and moving forward with clarity. It teaches you that power lies in choice, in discernment, and in the courage to surrender what no longer serves you. And in this surrender you will find not weakness, but the deepest expression of resilience, authenticity, and inner strength that you have ever known. The final truth you must embrace when you are tired of being strong is that your energy is sacred and your life is precious. You are not a machine, and you are not required to function endlessly without pause. You are a human being, a living, breathing soul navigating a world that is complex, demanding, and sometimes overwhelming. Every ounce of effort you expend, every thought, every action, and every emotional investment comes from a finite reserve of energy. If you do not protect it, if you do not replenish it, you will find yourself depleted, exhausted, and disconnected from your own purpose. Reclaiming your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. It is the foundation of authentic strength, resilience, and inner peace. When your energy is nurtured and your spirit is restored, everything you do, from your relationships to your work to your personal growth, becomes more effective, more intentional, and more fulfilling. Many people underestimate the importance of protecting their energy. They think that being strong means saying yes to every demand, attending to everyone else's needs before their own, and pushing themselves past exhaustion in order to meet expectations. They sacrifice sleep, peace of mind, and even health in the pursuit of being unbreakable. But strength that is built on neglecting yourself is fragile. It is unsustainable. True strength is rooted in balance. It is the ability to discern what deserves your attention, what is aligned with your purpose, and what is worth your time and effort. It is the ability to release what drains you, to say no without guilt, and to cultivate practices that replenish your mind, body, and spirit. When you are tired of being strong, it is time to reconnect with your essence. Life often distracts us from our inner voice. We are surrounded by noise, social pressures, endless responsibilities, and a constant demand to perform. In this environment, it is easy to forget that your energy is finite and that your inner well-being is the source from which all strength flows. Reconnecting with yourself means listening to your inner guidance, honoring your needs, and creating intentional space for rest, reflection, and renewal. Perhaps it is a quiet morning ritual, meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature. Perhaps it is engaging in creative expression, physical movement, or simply being alone with your thoughts. Whatever form it takes, this reconnection is essential. It allows you to recharge, regain clarity, and step back into life with energy that is authentic, grounded, and vibrant. Reclaiming your energy also requires setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are a declaration of your self-respect. They communicate to others and to yourself that your time, focus, and energy are valuable. Many people resist boundaries because they fear confrontation or feel guilty for protecting themselves. But boundaries are a form of empowerment. They are a tool to preserve your well-being, maintain your focus, and cultivate strength that is sustainable. Saying no to what depletes you is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of courage. It is an act of wisdom, and the more you practice it, the stronger and more resilient you become. Another key aspect of reclaiming your energy is mindfulness. When you are constantly rushing, multitasking, and overextending yourself, your energy becomes scattered. Mindfulness brings awareness to your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It allows you to observe where your energy is going, how it is being used, and what might be draining it unnecessarily. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to direct your energy intentionally, rather than reacting impulsively to external pressures. You learn to conserve your strengths for what truly matters. You learn to be present, fully engaged, and fully alive in each moment, rather than exhausted and depleted by the weight of constant busyness. It is also essential to release the guilt associated with rest. Many people feel undeserving of breaks or perceive pauses as laziness. But rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Every time you allow yourself to pause, reflect, or recharge, you are strengthening your capacity to act, to create, and to thrive. You are replenishing the well from which all strength flows. You are giving yourself the gift of energy, clarity, and focus. And when you rise again after rest, you are not starting from exhaustion, you are starting from renewal. This is the cycle of sustainable strength, energy, action, rest, reflection, and replenishment. Finally, reclaiming your energy means living intentionally. It means making conscious choices about how you spend your time, whom you surround yourself with, and what you prioritize. It means saying yes to what aligns with your purpose and no to what drains you. It means engaging fully with life while protecting the source of your strength. When you live intentionally, your energy becomes a tool for empowerment rather than depletion. You move through life with purpose, presence, and confidence. You are no longer merely surviving, you are thriving. Remember this: life does not demand perfection. Life does not require that you be strong at all times. Life asks only that you honor yourself, your energy, and your boundaries. When you do, you unlock a wellspring of power, clarity, and joy that exhaustion cannot touch. You become unshakable, not because you never tire, but because you know how to rise, how to rest, and how to direct your energy wisely. You become a force of nature, calm yet powerful, present yet expansive, resilient yet compassionate. The exhaustion you once feared becomes a teacher, guiding you toward the deeper, more authentic strength that comes from honoring yourself. So, when you are tired of being strong, remember that this moment is not a failure. It is an awakening. It is an invitation to reclaim your energy, protect your peace, and live in alignment with your true self. By doing so, you do not just endure, you thrive. You do not just survive, you flourish. You do not just appear strong, you embody strength in its purest, most authentic, and most sustainable form. This is your power. This is your peace. This is your life.